Hello, once again, and welcome back to another episode of Father and Son Days. It's been a while, and we're on episode 102.
102?
I know, and there's been a bit of a change around, so this week's episode is about stag do's and other stuff.
Right.
So stick around if you want to hear more. Hello, Dad.
Hello, son. How are you?
Do you remember how to do this?
Oh, just about. It's been a while, isn't it, again?
My name's Connor.
Hello, Connor. My name's David.
Good. Glad we got that sorted out.
Yeah.
I thought since it's been a while, it's probably a good idea to introduce
ourselves again, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. It's been a while, and it's been a while because...
not because we didn't want to.
Not because we didn't want to. We were incredibly... organised. We had everything in place. We were doing things. Yeah.
Back like ages ago, we planned 17 episodes on the trot, which took us up to episode 105.
Yeah.
Now, as you'd noticed, this is episode 102. Something happened. First of all, we recorded the dogs episode.
We did indeed. We did the dogs episode. Yeah.
And then the following week, we were just a bit like, to be perfectly honest, just a bit lazy. We're not fully lazy. We had a busy weekend. We were like, right, let's just do it next weekend.
Yeah.
And I think there was even like a bank holiday coming up or whatever. So we thought, we'll just do it.
Yeah, we'll be able to catch up. We'll be able to do bits and pieces. Yeah.
And then I got ill.
You did get ill, and
it's been about 2 months since, or pretty much 2 months since Dogs came out.
Has it really? Has it been that long? Well, no, obviously, no. You weren't very well at all, and I think we put something out saying that we were going to give it a restful week, and really didn't clear up the following week. And then, unfortunately, whatever you had, we got. So then,
I got pretty bad. I was okay, but I had a bit of a cough.
Yeah. And
having a cough on a podcast is not that great.
No, it's bad enough me sniffing all the time.
Exactly, and you coughing.
Yeah.
And then I got progressively worse to the point I was actually being sick.
Yes, you were. You weren't very well at all.
And then I got better.
You did?
And then I went away.
Yes.
And then
you got worse again.
And then I got worse again.
Yeah.
A lot worse again. To the point where I couldn't speak.
No, you couldn't speak.
I couldn't speak. And then you and Mum got it as well. Yeah. As I was gradually getting a little bit better, still had the cough. I still, to a certain extent, have still got the cough a bit.
Yeah, and I've still got some sinus problems, so this is all lovely stuff for you.
For about 6 weeks.
I know, it's been a bit of a nightmare, hasn't it? I mean, and I've got to be honest, we've all been quite rough with it. We've been on antibiotics. In fact, we all got the same antibiotics and took that. But I think we are at the end of it now, and
Which is perfect timing.
It is perfect timing because when we planned,
let's just go back.
Oh, we'll go back.
We planned this episode, and we initially called it Stag, and the reason we called it Stag is because we wanted it to be about where the location of the stag was. Because during me being ill, I got briefly a little bit better, but was still coughing, and during that period, Sam and Becky, who are getting married very soon, Sam had his stag do.
Yes, he did.
And we went to Poland, and that's what the podcast was going to be about. And you did a lot of work on it. I
know that, Connor, because I did an awful lot of work researching Poland.
And it feels like a waste to waste it. Waste it. So this episode, though we were going to really talk about Poland, this one's pretty much about the stag and Poland in hindsight a little bit.
It's about...
and you're going to prepare me for my trip to Poland, yes?
Yes, so if you ever go back, yeah. No, so it'd be interesting to see some of the things I found out about it, whether you actually noticed that when you were over there. So that'll be quite good. But yes, I mean, you went over there on the stag. We had it all planned. We also had plans for the Eurovision song contest. The King's Coronation. No, we had that and the King's Coronation.
Yeah, because it was going to go Stag Do, King's Coronation, Eurovision, because they were free.
And St George's Day.
And the one before that,
St George's Day. So we had all this planned in, and then obviously each one sort of fell by the wayside.
And they weren't even ones that we could just do at any time.
No.
They were all to do with that.
But I'm not. No, but... And I've been thinking about this, right? You say about it making more sense, but, okay, so, like, next week's one will be probably Eurovision that we're going to talk about, right?
We've said it now.
We've said it now, so we're probably going to have to do it. Not definitely, but probably. However, we shouldn't worry about this because obviously the Eurovision Song Contest for 2023 was a couple of weeks ago.
What we'll do is...
But we shouldn't worry about it because we've done episodes on the ancient Egyptians and the Greeks.
That was ages ago.
And we only did it in the last couple of years. So
Mum did say we could hold out and release a Eurovision next year.
No,
let's not do that. Or we could what we could do is we could just release it, pretend it came out at the time, and just act as if everyone else is just being stupid and not us.
Yeah, that's a possibility. So, but we've probably blown that now by saying it out on this.
Yeah, but it's a different episode.
Oh, right,
and let's be honest, people don't listen to all of these.
No.
They're just on the background whilst Nan goes to sleep.
Yeah, it's really used for a sleeping device for the elderly.
Before we crack on, as well, nice hair.
Oh, nice hair. Now, it's funny enough, the last time that we had done a podcast, because I've forgotten what they're called as well. Last time we done a podcast, it was just prior to me going up to Manchester to do the Manchester Marathon, and we talked a little bit about that. And I was just about to have my hair cut then. So it's clearly...
How did it go? You've had 2 haircuts. Wow, that's a lot of haircuts.
What, the haircut? You want to know how haircut went? Yeah. Haircut went well.
No, I wasn't interested about the marathon.
I've been having my hair cut. Last 2 times I had my hair cut by someone different because unfortunately the person who cuts her hair wasn't very well. But she's going to be back cutting it again. So I went to a different place. And it was a bit of a bizarre situation there. I mean, my haircut, I was happy with my haircut. For what my haircut is, which is someone sort of uses
lightly
scissors,
blowing on your hair.
Yeah, and cutting round it so it sounds like I'm throwing other people's hair on the floor so it looks like mine. But one of the things that they did, which was a bit bizarre, is they set light to a few things during the process. One was sort of the cutthroat razor that we're doing round the back of the neck. But yeah, that's the sanitizer. I understand that. But one was this funny little thing that seemed to be on a stick, this little ball of material on a stick, and they set fire to that, and then they waved it near my ears.
Yes,
like I was possessed and they were trying to drive the devil out of me or something like that. Yeah. I could only imagine they were trying to burn the stubble of my ear hair.
See, I hadn't heard about this before, and you hadn't heard about this before, but I believe it's actually quite a common thing now. I've heard about it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have never in my life had that done. But I've had it done twice now because I had it done again today. But the only thing I'd say about it is I thought it was for burning the hair in my ear, but I've still got hair in my ear.
Oh, it's to make candles.
Is it to basically just melt it down?
Yeah.
So it's a sideline for them.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it went all right, to be honest, Connor.
What, the haircut?
No, the marathon. I thought you said about the Manchester Marathon.
No, I said I did. I wasn't worried about that.
Oh, you weren't worried about it. Well, I'll tell you about it anyway.
How was the Manchester Marathon?
No, it was okay. It went not as well as I'd hoped, but I still did all right. I had a bit of a problem with my knee away into it, but yeah, it was an interesting time. I travelled up there.
Mental. The thing is, the amount of stuff that's happened in between, I kind of forgot about it.
Well, I know, but as we mentioned it last time, I thought I'd better, in case people were worried, that's why we weren't doing any more podcasts, because I was still running. But, lots of different things there. There was a lot of, funny enough, hen parties and stag parties in Manchester while I was there, and especially in my hotel as well, because there was the same wedding party. Like I find hen parties can be a bit disruptive, to be quite honest with you. I don't know about stag parties, but the same woman kept coming out on the same floor, and my room was right next to the lifts, and they had to keep telling her to come back in again. She must have done it about 3 or 4 times. And I found her...
I did that at the stag do. I wasn't drunk or anything like that, really. I just got confused, and someone pressed one of the buttons for the floors. Yeah, because we got in, so we pressed a button for the floor, and then someone else thought it'd be funny to press the other button. And in my head, I'm like, it's going to go on the other floor. And I still got out, and I thought, why am I getting out? And then I had to get back in the lift again.
Oh, they didn't just let it shut, no?
No, they just kind of watched me, and I went back in. I went, I don't know why I did that.
I had one of those instances when I got to the hotel, and it was someone else's room that they'd weren't able to do it, so they gave it to me. But someone was supposed to have phoned the hotel and tell them it would change over and given them my name. So I went to reception. I was so pleased I got there and found it. And I went to reception and they said, no, I haven't got your name down here. But eventually got it sorted out, went and got in a lift. Even though it was up to the first floor, I had a case. So I thought, I'll just get in the lift. And there was a lady in there and she was in running gear. And I went, looked at her and went, look, bit lazy really. I should have walked up the stairs. And you know when someone looks at you, knows you're talking about, doesn't say anything and just then blankly stares off to the distance. She did that to me.
Well, she's probably thinking the same because she's in running gear.
Yeah, but she could have answered and gone, oh yeah, and then it was excruciating. It was only seconds, and yet it felt like it lasted about 5 minutes before I got out of that lift. And I found an egg under my bed, didn't I?
You did find a boiled egg, didn't you?
I found a boiled egg under my bed, and normally, if you find a boiled egg under your bed, you think, oh, that's a bit unusual, boiled egg under your bed, you know. But you think, well, I'll throw it in the bin or that. For some inexplicable reason, and I wasn't drunk because I wasn't drinking because I was running the next day, I decided to go down to reception to...
Very good thing
to show them the boiled egg. And to be honest, the guy behind the reception looked at me as if to say, oh, God, mate, I hate it when people drink and then bring boiled eggs to reception. But I was saying to him, I don't understand. I said it was under one of the beds. I just thought you best know. And in my mind, I was telling him that perhaps they weren't cleaning the rooms properly. But by the look of his face, he was just thinking, yeah, mate, just give me that and then just disappear. But
you just put the boiled egg under the bed to
moan. Just so as a conversation starter. No, I didn't. No, I should have. And I wasn't about to. It was just I thought he should know. I sat on my bed looking at it for some time before I went down, but eventually... Anyway, that was my trip to Manchester. Marathon. Did the marathon, completed it. 4 hours and 26 seconds. Really, really annoying, the 26 seconds, but that's still reasonable for an old boy like me. And, yeah, at least I finished on
already
that
won, to be fair.
I've already won.
Or anyone.
Oh, anyone. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit hard of hearing, even though I've got this on
headphones where my speech goes directly into it.
Exactly, yeah. But that was just one of the things that happened, and I know I'm going on a bit, but that's just one of the things that happened since that time. Other than that, as you alluded to, there's been a lot of wedding preparation going on.
Yeah, so the stag do was, well, actually a month ago. Like right now was a month ago.
Yeah.
And the wedding is in 2 days' time at time of recording. After, when this releases, though, the wedding would have already happened. So, wow, that was an amazing wedding.
Yes, when it goes out. And I'm sure it's going to be. And
I'm not going to do the other one either. I'm going to go in and I'm fully going all in with, wow, that was a really good wedding.
Oh, no, we won't. No, because it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah. Didn't Sam look beautiful?
Sam looks so handsome. I could have given her a big kiss on the lips.
Do you remember that time you gave him a kiss?
Do you remember that? Yeah.
That's why I just asked you if you remember.
No, I remember it, unfortunately, and so does he by the way he's a bit nervous around me these days.
Tried to be funny, and then you gave him a kiss, and then everyone felt
awkward. They were going, and I went to give him a hug and give him a kiss, mucking about, and then halfway through mucking about to give him a kiss, like I was just going to go, mwah, like that. I just actually gave him a kiss. And
on the cheek?
Yeah, on the cheek.
Let's clarify.
Yeah. On his face. Yeah. But yes.
Face cheek.
Yeah. But I think it's water under the bridge. Becky, forgive me. And then I'm getting married. So it's exciting times.
Yes.
But let's take that back. Let's take it back, like you said, a few weeks.
A month
ago. Because Sam didn't know where he was going, and this is why he did in the end, but yes, he didn't know where he was going.
Turns out when we all thought his best man James, when we all thought James had let it slip and he didn't see it, turns out he did see it, and then onwards from there I let it slip, and then someone else let it slip, and I think Mum let it slip at one point as well.
She did. I can remember that happening. Yep. But then I've done exactly the same thing with other stuff as well.
So we've all let it slip. Everyone pretty much let it slip at some point. But oh well.
Yeah. But why was Poland picked as the stag do? Why Poland?
That's a very good question.
Well, I wonder, is it because it's the home of one of the oldest restaurants in Europe?
Doubt it.
1273, this restaurant. So it wasn't for that.
I doubt it.
Is it because of the diverse landscape of Poland, which includes old forests, mountains, sparkling lakes, sandy beaches, sprawling desert, and fascinating wetlands?
I doubt it, because we went to a specific part of Poland.
So it must be the fact that one of the most popular pastimes for Polish families is mushroom foraging. Did you do any of that while you were over there?
I feel like you were reading this.
Do you?
Yep.
Well, I've done a lot of work on this, so I'm blooming well going to go through it. When I'm at a loss, Connor, why on earth would you go there?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. They do sell alcohol everywhere, apart from dry
places
countries
where they
don't sell alcohol. Yeah.
So I imagine beer and the nightlife and all this. They drink a lot of beer. We went to a place that had a beer thing that they came over with for the whole table, and it was like a meter long thing of beer,
like a yard of beer.
Like a meter.
Have you ever seen a yard of beer, like the big sort of glass things? Was it like that?
No, it was like a meter for like all of it, because this is metric system.
Yeah, but was it like a yard of beer?
No, it was like a meter.
No, I'm not talking about the
listen, you let me finish,
right.
And you'll hear what it was. It's like a really tall glass.
Yes.
Yeah, with a tap at the bottom, so people would pour their drinks from this meter of beer.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So was it like a yard?
No, because a yard of beer will be one person drinking it, isn't it?
Is that? I'd never had it, so I'm just asking. That's okay. So what?
Getting very angry now.
So basically, that meter of beer was just something.
It
was
horrible.
like having a few jugs of beer that you were all drinking from. Then
it tastes horrible. So I don't like beer, and there was one guy on the Stag.
Was it lager?
Like lager, I think so.
Yeah.
There was one guy on the Stag who would go like, "Non-lagers, please," and I'll be going, "Oh,
yeah, I did think you don't drink
not more," because I'd already drunk. I drank a fair bit of beer.
Yeah,
because like it just kept being ordered for me.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just continued to drink it, and I was eventually like, "No, I'm not drinking any more beer." Snails on the vodka lemonades.
Lovely.
Every day, in every way, the things people do, the things people say, just irritate me, please sedate me. These are the things that really get my goat.
People who, when you're running a marathon or other race of length, say, "You're nearly there," when you have clearly got hours and miles of pain ahead of you.
So in Poland, so this was a stag do if you've already gone over.
How many of you?
Eventually 10. Because on the first day there was 9, because one person was coming from York, so they couldn't get there the first day, but they could get there the second day.
Oh, right. So, yeah.
So it was a really interesting time. I've got a couple of good stories from it. There's some that I cannot share.
Yes, I'd imagine that's the case.
And there is some that I can share.
Okay.
One which I can share is discovering... So I have never been all that great with social interactions, especially with the female kind.
Right.
Yeah. And...
I think you're doing yourself an injustice there, but go on.
Well, one's of a different kind of discussion.
Okay, right.
I can speak to girls, but I'm a little bit awkward when it comes to flirtatious stuff.
Flirtatious stuff, okay.
Anyway.
I'm intrigued.
We're in this club.
Yeah.
A girl grabs me on the shoulders, tries talking to me. It's like, "Where are you from? Oh, wow. And why are you here?" And stuff like that. And is trying to talk to me.
Right.
And like, she's like, "Hello." And I'm like, "Hello." And she's saying all this stuff. And I'm like, she went, "Why are you here?" I went, "I'm here on a stag do. That's he's my future brother-in-law. He's over there. You should speak to him instead." So I guided them to Sam because I didn't want to speak to them.
Oh, right. Could have been awkward.
And there was another one. So a certain person came up to me and said, "Hello, sexy." And I went, "Hello." And then I felt awkward, so I started speaking to them about the architecture of Poland.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who are these people? Are they just there on the same sort of thing as you? Or were they employees?
One of them...
Yes.
One of them was just a person in Poland, a Polish person in Poland. It's funny that. They're at a club. The other person was an employee of some kind.
Yes. What, the one who said, hello, sexy?
Yes.
Yes. I thought that might be the case.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
It was an accident. We didn't mean to be there.
Officer. So it was one of those.
We got offered free drinks. We went in. We got in there. We went, this is not what I was expecting, and then quickly tried to make our escape.
Right. I think I understand where you were now.
When you walk around that square, so there's a lot of reps.
So where exactly were you? You were
in Krakow or Krakow or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Poland. We were there. And there's a massive square, and basically during the day, it is absolutely stunning. It looks amazing. All these wonderful buildings. The architecture there is really interesting. It feels very Soviet in a way.
Yeah.
There's also like everywhere's got an underground bit, like an underground cellar with these like old brick walls. We went into one that had like medieval weapons on the wall.
Yeah.
We felt like we were going to get murdered in that one. We didn't, which is good. So like all the clubs are quite literally just underground. Like during the day, everything's up top, but at night, everything drops underground. But you go out into the square and it's beautiful during the day, but at night it's filled with reps.
Oh, right, trying to drag you into the places. Yeah.
So we got offered, so we were going around and said, do you want to go to a club, do you want to drink, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff normal. Would you like to see topless females?
Females? Yeah.
I need to cough again. It's all this talking. Would you like to see topless females? That happened a lot. Would you like to come to our club that has people who dance with very little clothes on?
I'm imagining that's not the way they try. Because as a rep, right, if I was walking round and someone
would
come
you
up
like
to
to come to this place where small people come out?
Would you like
that
to
offered a lot?
Pardon?
Would you like to come to a club where small people come out?
Small people come out?
People with restricted growth.
Right. All right. Small people.
Yeah.
They come out.
Yeah. They tried to sell it to us as in like there's appearances from people with restricted growth.
Right. Nude.
I don't know.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Right. Okay. Well, each their own.
Because it's like once an hour they come out.
Okay. Once an hour. Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem to be treated like some mythical creatures. But they're not.
Well,
they're
quite.
Just small people.
But it's a weird thing. I mean, I've been to.
Anyway.
Go on. Sorry.
The people who dance with very little clothes on. You were going to mention something about
strippers, Connor.
Yes,
they're
but I'm
strippers.
trying to say it just in case someone's listening with a child in the car.
Paint strippers,
and
they're decorators, painters and decorators.
And the children might think I'm talking about chicken strippers.
Chicken strippers, yeah, exactly.
No, they're
fidget
are they
spinners.
called chicken strippers? Or chicken strips? Chicken strippers.
Chicken dippers.
Chicken dippers. That's what I think.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, chicken dippers.
Right, there
chicken
you go, kids.
Strippers.
Whenever we say strippers, what we mean is chicken dippers.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll refer to strippers as chicken dippers now, like a Cockney rhyming slang, all right?
Yeah. All right, chicken dippers.
So, hello, lads. Do you fancy getting drunk and looking at a few chicken dippers?
Yeah. Do you fancy going down the dip club?
Yeah, dip club.
That doesn't really work like that, does it? Would you like to go?
Some mini.
Would you like to go for some
mini
chickens?
chicken dippers?
Would you like to go for chicken? Would you like to go? Do you want to go look at the chicken?
Chicken, yeah. No, that's
no, because they normally Cockney rhyme slam because you go.
Oh yeah, you usually, but don't say hello, lads. You want to come and see a chicken because that's what you used to call your.
That's what I used to
when
call
you were
young, my
your finger.
Special man appendage.
Special man.
Because when you pulled it in a like. It looked like a roast chicken.
It's a terrible design. Anyway, right, not just yours. Yeah, why did we get to that? Anyway, so right, there was a lot of pressure on you to go into these places and spend your money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that, we worked out. I'm a bit socially awkward in those scenarios. I
think everybody is in those scenarios. I mean, there are people that are sort of quite laddish and go for it and that, but I think the vast majority of people think, oh God, because it's not a normal situation, is it?
Okay, thanks for bigging me up. The other story.
Oh, that was it.
That's it. The other story. There are multiple stories, like I said. The other one was we went to a boat party.
Right. Okay.
We went to a boat party.
Yeah.
On a Polish river. not just any river, a Polish one.
Well, I'd imagine it would have been.
Yeah, because we're in Poland.
Yeah.
But they had free drinks on the boat party. We would have paid.
What free drinks did they have?
Basically, like vodka and a
two
soft
others?
drink. I get your point, but that's not what I was leaning towards.
Okay, go on.
Vodka and other stuff and all this different stuff like amaretto. I don't know, all these different things.
Amaretto,
But I was drinking vodka lemonade, but they would do like normally like double shots, but they definitely weren't measuring it. It was like triple shots or whatever,
okay.
vodka and a bit of lemonade on top. I got through quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And I got quite drunk. I was being really emotional with Sam and stuff like that, you know.
I love you, Sam.
I love you, Sam. I did tell him, on this trip, said, I watched him dance once and I messaged Becky and said, he's got some real dad moves, he's going to make a good dad one day or something like that.
All right.
Anyway, that's whatever.
By the by,
yeah. Anyway, so on this thing, I got really drunk and then we came off the boat and we're going to these clubs and I was so drunk that I kept saying to everyone I was around, please don't lose me, because I was really worried. I was in Poland and I was just very conscious of the fact that I didn't want to. I was keeping track of where people were, at least one person I knew all the time. But I also was a bit like, what if I get distracted and I lose them? So I said, please don't lose me. And I got really nervous. You're in a place you don't know.
I guess it is. If you're in a...
And I was drunk to the point where I wouldn't be able to track where I've been.
It's bad enough, and I've been in places where I've been really, really drunk, that you, even in our own country, sort of, to deal with it in a place that perhaps you're not familiar with, but it's still with people that will speak to you in that language. But when you're abroad, it's just the unknown as well. It's nothing more sinister, but it basically, there's a worry of you not being able to be understood and what could happen and not recognising things that perhaps you'd recognise here. So it's always a bit dodgy. So it's good that... Did you all stick together then most of the time?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we did karaoke on the last night. That was really good fun as well.
Yeah, good. Yeah, but this is the thing nowadays, is the weekends, aren't they? For a while now, stags and hens have always been these weekends away, whereas, you know, it used to be, I mean, way back, it used to be the night before the wedding that people used to go, God, that must have been horrific.
Yeah, it would have been. We're not doing anything like that because I'm with the groomsmen, because I'm a groomsman. The night before the wedding, we're just... I think having an early night.
Yeah, I will be as well. Yeah. It's a big day for me.
It's a big day.
It's a big day.
Anyway, but like the thing with stags is quite often it feels like the groom gets punished.
Well, now, that's the problem.
Sam probably did a little bit, but we won't go into that. But how about your stag? Did you have anything happen to you?
Well, I might have mentioned this before, but basically, while you have a cough, I think we went out a week or so before. But all I did was I went out with a load of people from work and friends. We went to a pub.
Sorry.
We sat...
Friends?
Oops. What?
Just knocked the mic and did friends in quotation box.
They were friends, yeah. So...
But they're still friends after the stag?
Yeah. No. What I meant was a lot of work colleagues who were friends, but also a lot of friends from outside of work and that came along.
Now look at you, very popular.
I've got friends in all different places. Anyway, but we went to the pub and we started drinking. Now, I'm not a massive drinker. I used to drink loads more. I don't hardly drink now, but I used to drink a lot more then. And my brother was there. You know, my brother-in-law was there at the time. And as I say, some closer friends that I'd known for a long, long while. But what I didn't realise was, first of all, that people were getting me, because I said I'll stick to beer, so they were getting me beer, but they'd drink a bit of it and then put a vodka on top of it. Now, I don't like vodka anyway, and you're talking about that. But so I was having these. Now, I got to a point in the evening where I came outside
the opposite,
of the pub.
You were drinking beer, but don't like vodka, and I...
Spiked, yeah.
I don't mind vodka, but I really don't like beer.
But someone told me in the end. But anyway, I'd had a lot, and I got to a point, and I thought, and I went out into the air, because I think it was sort of, it was probably August, end of August or something like that, when I had my stag do, because I got married in September, and stood out the front with another one of my mates, and I was feeling a bit ropey, but I managed to pull myself back together. You know, you have those moments. As long as you do it at the right time, you can do it. So then we're going to kick on. Some of them wanted to go to some of the bigger clubs in where we live in Southend, But we were lining up for these things. I remember lining up at one particular one, and I said, there's no guarantee we're even going to get in this place. And a few of them were saying, oh, can't we go? And there's a bit of a dive. It's actually burned down there, that was down the seafront. I said, let's go there. And they said, oh, no, I'm not going there. I said, no, look, we're going there because we know we can get in there. They'll let anybody in there. So we'll get in there. At least we can carry on. Otherwise, we could stand here for 20 minutes and they'll go, no, sorry, lads, which is quite highly likely because we're a load of blokes together.
We got turned away from one place in Poland. They went no t-shirts, and some of the guys went there the day before, and they're like,
"Good
we got
God,
them in t-shirts."
You must have been rough.
Because they said no t-shirts.
Other people in, and they wouldn't let you in.
It's because we were a group of 10 guys.
Well, that'll do it anyway.
All with flowery necklaces.
We made our way down to the seafront of Southend. We went in the Esplanade. We carried on drinking, and where they are on the Esplanade, there's a balcony, so you can go out on there. So it's quite nice to go out there because it gets really hot in these places. So I'm out there. I'm absolutely smashed, and I'm thinking, God, we're still going, and all the rest of it. And it's coming. We're now talking sort of might have been midnight or something like that. But there's still loads of people back because it's a seafront and all that, and people are just there. And then one of my friends came out, one of the particular friends who came out, and he went to me, just going to let you know, they've got handcuffs. They're about to take you and handcuff you to one of the lampposts on the other side of the road, which is like right by the seafront sort of thing, right on the seafront on the promenade.
Yeah.
So I went, well, you're kidding me. He goes, they're going to get you over, they're going to strip you, and they're going to handcuff you there. And I thought, I ain't having none of that. So I looked around and I could see them coming through from the actual bit where the club is, where all the music was playing. So I grabbed the balcony, the railings balcony, and I jumped over the top of it. Of course, they come out looking for me, and I'm running down the road. Now I am absolutely mullered.
Well, yeah, you just jumped off a balcony.
Right, well, no, despite that, in fact, it probably done me a favour that I was so drunk because I didn't tense up. I just kind of hit the deck and then got up and run. I was running as fast as I can, but it must have looked hilarious because...
You felt like you were running well fast.
I felt like I was running in like 100 miles an hour. But I was mullered, so I was all over the place. But they were as drunk as I was.
Do the marathon drunk.
That would be interesting. Or getting gradually drunk, so having, instead of water stations, having drinks at each particular one. Yeah. I look like I'm drunk.
When people
hand you
anyway. Like jelly sweets, you actually take a shot.
Yeah, jelly shots. But they came after me, so they all came after me, and it must have looked like something out of a Benny Hill sketch or Carry On. And I remember running up to you all know where I'm talking about, but Pier Hill, so it's basically up by the promenade, right by the pier, and just up, and there was police coming down, just walking down, like patrolling, and I was running up to them, and then I realised I was running, and they were looking at me, so I slowed down as if like nothing was happening, and I just smiled at them, and they're just looking at me, and then I got past them, only about a metre past them, and I started running again as if that would make all the difference, and they just laughed. But I went and hid in Southend because I lived there. I needed to get back home, and I was in bushes at times. And I remember one particular time I was in this bush and they all came past me, but they couldn't find me. And then they were getting less and less because some of them were just feeling, oh, for God's sake, and gone to drink more. And then I can remember my brother was there. I think my brother started thinking, oh dear, I might be getting in a lot of trouble over this.
Yeah.
So I managed to find my way home. Your mum let me in, and I'd gone and sort of laid down, and then he'd phoned your mum up and said to her, do you know where David is? Because like we haven't seen it yet. She said, he's here. He went, oh, okay, thanks, cheers, because he thought, well, at least I got home safe. But that was it. So I managed to escape what would have been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind, the person who instigated this, the person who really wanted to do this, was one of the ones that was a friend of a friend sort of thing. Wasn't even one of my mates, but had decided to take it upon themselves to be the one who'd stitch me up.
Sometimes they're the ones that do that, though, aren't they?
Oh, they are. But, I managed to get away with it to a certain extent. But I just think that there's a lot... Seriously, though, I do think...
That's the risk of... If you're in a... if you stay local for a stag do, you tend to invite more people.
Yeah, because
They
the
wouldn't
people
necessarily-
I mean, obviously,
Like Sam only invited what he referred to as the people he's closest with.
but even then, that's quite a big deal for 10 people to go to a European city. Yeah. I know lots of people do these things nowadays, but it is quite a big deal.
Yeah.
But no, it's. I know people like to do it. I mean, there was a hen, wasn't there?
Yes.
So my daughter, your sister, had a hen.
Becky, I'll call her.
Very civilised. They went and done pottery, loads of them. They had a great laugh doing it, and they all went to this place and was painting these pottery in the afternoon, and then in the evening they went out just to this club in town and looked like they had a ball. So I do think there's a lot of pressure to make it wild and, all these stories come out of it. And I think one of the things you said when you come back is, I don't want to stag do.
I said that before I went, to be fair.
But that's how it makes you feel, because you feel obligated to do these things, and they are fun. Yeah, they are fun, but can be quite stressful.
I genuinely had a lot
of
of fun that stag do, but I do get the point of Sam feeling on edge at times.
Yes, I imagine he would do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a few little things. I'm conscious of time, so I've got a few little things here, perhaps. And as I said earlier, these were all before you went, so I was going to tell you things.
Should I pretend I haven't gone yet?
Okay.
So I'm due to be going to Poland soon, Dad.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you a few things about Poland, things you might need to know.
Yes?
Right. As you're going at the beginning of spring, you might be too late, but as winter ends and spring begins, Polish people drown dolls in lakes, rivers and streams, etc., to signify the end of winter and a hello to spring. They're called Mazana dolls.
I'll bear that in mind in case I see...
But that's fairly freaky.
That's weird.
That is freaky, isn't it? Because unless they look very, very much like not a realistic doll, I imagine they must look something. Otherwise, there would be a lot of calls to police.
I might ask my colleague from work.
Oh, you do,
my Polish
yeah.
colleague from work.
Polish people do celebrate their birthdays as we do, but they also celebrate their name day. Each Polish name is linked to a specific day of celebrations. So that's a bit greedy, isn't it?
I didn't know about that one.
You did know that, right?
Yeah.
Also, did you know Polish names are different depending on the gender of the person? And this will be interesting because if this is right, you probably can tell me by the person you know. For example, the male's name ends in ski.
Yeah.
And the females in scar. Might be a good way of spotting any lady boys while you're out there. That's what.
Nice.
Not that they'd probably give you their real names.
And her surname's Milewska.
Maleska. Yeah, there you go. And then I had a final one, and obviously I knew what your itinerary was out there. So you would then, I mean, you didn't mention you would go karting, didn't you? You had the boat trip.
Yeah. Sam wore a Tottenham shirt.
So Sam he's an Arsenal sport, and he had to wear a Tottenham shirt just to make him feel like that. You did a lot of things. You had sat and watched football. You done karaoke.
Yeah, watched the Liverpool Tottenham game.
Sounds like you had a full itinerary while you were there.
Yep.
Right. I've had to change that as in now rather than. But if you did have any spare time, you might have wanted to catch up on some TV from home. What's interesting about over there and what I found out that all dub films and TV are done so by the same man over in Poland who does the dialogue for everyone, men, women and children.
So that seems a bit silly because that's a lot. I guess he's very busy. That's a lot of work.
It is. Sounds like he monopolises everything.
What happens if he dies?
Well, I suppose his son takes over. That's what I understand happens.
So what happens when? So is that what happens to me?
Yeah.
What do you do now that I'm going to take over?
What if I've died? Nothing really much. I might do a few odds and ends, but really
this
won't get involved
very
in.
Boring,
I certainly won't get involved in it as much as I used to.
Which should be Sundays.
Yeah. Just called Sundays.
Just released on a Sunday.
Sundays. Yes. I had
because I'd still be a son, wouldn't I? I was about to say it'd just be days at that point, wouldn't it?
It could possibly be, yeah. So
this is morbid. Let's move on. What's your other things?
Just a few travel tips. I'll just do these quickly and then we'll go to the next bit. Don't call it Eastern Europe. It is in fact Central Europe, and they may get a little bit cross if you do. It's not as cold as you think. Was it as cold as you thought?
I got sunburn.
There you go. Try to learn a few phrases or words, as like most countries, the effort, however poor, is appreciated. The tap water is safe to drink, but you may get a weird look if you ask for it out in public. Did you ask for it out?
I didn't, but someone else did.
All right. Did they get a funny look?
No, I don't think so.
All right. The Polish don't do idle chit-chat, so if you ask someone how they are doing, be prepared to listen for however long it takes. So when someone come out and go, hi, sexy, and you go, hi, how you doing? You could have been there for ages.
So it's a good thing I did speak about the architecture.
I still can't get over that. You'll have to tell me perhaps after this what architecture you talked about.
The fact that everything was underground. I've told you this before, to be fair.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
And she told me she was a vampire.
Did you really?
And then offered to show me her coffin.
And you said, you think that's coffin? Listen to me.
I went, no, thank you.
Really? Oh, no, thank you. Oh, how British of you. Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for asking, but I'll pass on that.
And then she asked me if I was with the guy next to me. I went, no.
Oh, right.
I just wasn't interested in her.
Because you weren't interested in her, that you must be gay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think she's just trying to wind me up, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Didn't bother me.
No. They may get confused if you ask for tea with milk, although they do have it in their coffee. You'll be fine.
Yes, I have found this out from my
You're just what?
My Polish colleague. Almost said her.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And bearing in mind, I've already given out a
surname.
But
That's the case quite often with tea in other places. You'll be fine if you're caught drinking or holding a drink in the streets. Now, that square you were in, presumably people were coming in and out of places and that.
Oh, we're sitting at tables drinking.
Oh, right, but not actually in the streets. If you're giving a Polish person a gift of flowers, remember to get an odd number of whatever it is, as even numbers of flowers are only given at funerals.
Okay.
As far as I know, all other gifts are okay in any number, like chocolates and socks and things like that.
Otherwise, I just have to open up the box of chocolates, eat one, and then give them to them.
Yep. Take your shoes off before going into someone's house. Did you
like that?
Did you do that?
Didn't go to anyone's house.
Clubs and that. Did you take it? No. Do not jaywalk. Right?
No.
Or join any marching bands. Well,
so jaywalking did that.
Oh.
Well, the thing is with basically, there's crossings. There are crossings. We always try to do the crossings, but sometimes you just kind of need to get across the road. They will stop. Like, as soon as you walk up to that thing, they will stop. They will be in the middle of the junction, and they will stop for you to cross.
Really?
They always stop for pedestrians.
Like, a bit like it's supposed to be here.
Got to the point where I quite literally could just walk out into the street, and you would know people would stop for you.
Well, that's a bit of a dangerous...
It's a dangerous game, but they did it.
All right, fair enough. Cashless payments are highly popular in Poland. And the last one here, Polish people do not tend to walk around with grins on their faces or smile at strangers, as it is just not their custom unless they know you. Did you find that? Or did most of the people you come across want to sell you something?
There was a lot of people that wanted to sell us stuff, so they tend to smile at us. The people who were running the go-karting, I don't think they smiled at all.
Right.
And I don't feel like they smile in general.
I think the general idea of that is that it's not that people are
on the
unhappy.
Boat party were very smiley.
Yeah, but again, I suppose they're in hospitality, and that's what they do. If you're just passing a stranger in the street, they're not necessarily going to have a grin on their face. But that could be said from this country.
But then
but
you got to remember, we were in a very touristy area.
Yeah, you were. It's a bit like we say when we go to other places. You don't see the real Poland because you're in a place which is just geared towards people, tourists, and probably a lot of stag and hens. So there you go.
As in, that's for any people listening that do not use the term stag do or hen do. Just to clarify, bachelor party or bachelorette party.
That's right. Sorry, I didn't think of that. Okay, so that's interesting.
So we're at practice, but I feel like there potentially will be a song around this point.
There is going to be a song now, and this song has been written about some of the This could be anybody's stag or bachelor party. This is very typical of that and the journey you go from start to finish. So, give it a spin.
What's it called?
It's called Stag do.
Not Stag do.
Well, it could be. It could be either of those.
But it's called Stag do.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll play it.
Play it.
Now?
Go.
I'm going on my stag do, I'm gonna get a tattoo.
These trips are falling, calling, standards are falling, calling.
Food is chicken dippers, served by dodgy looking strippers.
Is that your mum they're calling? She touched my bum, they're calling.
I cannot tell what country we're in, 'cause I've drunk 8 sambucas and a bottle of gin. I've lost a shoe, my trousers are missing. I've clearly had enough, but they're just not listening. I'm going on my stag do, I'm gonna get a tattoo.
He's dressed up as Claire Balding, he's having trouble walking.
I cannot feel my eyebrows, I thought these guys were my pals.
Our friendship's being tested, oh no, he's been arrested.
I've been handcuffed and I'm heading to jail. My head is spinning, don't feel well. The police are saying something about deportation, but I'm sick down his front before we reach the station. I'm going on my stag do, I'm gonna get a tattoo.
Do you have money calling? It's Boris Bell now calling.
My cellmate's name is Boris, he looks like Hugo Loris.
He plays for Tottenham calling, we don't like Tottenham calling.
They bailed me out, so let's go home. The bride-to-be's been on the telephone. It sounds okay, think we'll still get hitched, but it looks like Boris giving me the itch.
Game time.
Thank you for the music and the
song
songs. I want to play a game now.
Right, you want to play a game now? Right, okay, so I have got...
Very bored. I'd like to play a game.
All right, okay. We've got a stag quiz, right? So...
A quiz?
A quiz. I've got a quiz.
I've missed
it's
these.
A stag quiz. It's one of those multiple choice
Pretty
ones
much
you
2
like
months
so
without a
much.
quiz. Wow.
Yes, I know. What have you been doing with your time, apart from coughing? I have got a sting for it. Would you like to play my sting?
I'll play this thing.
When you're on your stag and it's all gone wrong, you're tied to a lamppost in a bright green thong. At least nothing else could really go wrong. Oh bugger, here comes the police.
What a lovely sting.
Oh, I thought you might say that. Okay, look. Stag or bachelor parties going on all around the world. But we may be familiar with the debauchery of the English stags. But what do you do in other parts of the world?
Oh.
So, I'm going to give you a
multiple
statement.
choice?
It's a multiple
How
choice.
many questions?
There are, I believe, I'm going to have a look now, but I believe there are 10 questions.
You used to mix it up all the time, but
It's only when I'd run out of questions. It
sometimes
never used to
you
be.
went to like 11 or something.
Well, it depends if I was enjoying myself.
Were you enjoying yourself?
I don't know. Can't remember. It's a long while ago. Okay, question 1.
When was this written? Circa
Before
2021?
It was written before you went on the stag do. Okay, question 1. In Italy, on the night before the big day, What is the groom traditionally meant to do for the bride? Right, so in Italy, the night before...
Are any of these questions a repeat of the wedding episode?
I don't believe so. Do they, A, cookies...
A lot of coughing in this episode. I do apologise.
Cookies, there's more coffins than in that club you went to. Question one.
Just pretending that it happened.
Cookies bride's favourite Italian dish and place it on her doorstep. Is it B, tie money to a tree or bush in the bride's garden? Or is it C, stand outside the bride-to-be's house singing loudly?
Tie money to a tree or bush.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. In Italy, on the night before the big day, the groom stands outside the bride-to-be's house and sings loudly. And by all accounts as well, gets other people involved. Okay, question 2.
That's how you caught them, though.
Yeah, but that's what traditionally happens on
with
the night before.
With a boombox.
With a boombox, yeah. You've been watching too many 80s films. Question 2. In China...
Where are Romeo and Juliet from? What's going on?
They're Italian, aren't they?
Are they?
Is it Verona? And
I thought they were Italian.
Yeah.
Because he stands at the bottom of her balcony, doesn't he?
There you go. In a manner of speaking.
She goes, Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? And he goes, I'm over here. And she goes, would a rose not smell so sweet by any other name? And he goes, yes.
Okay. Thank you for that insight into Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
My thumb at thee, sir.
Yeah, and same to you. Question, can we get on with this? Question 2. In China, what would the groom be expected to do in the weeks leading up to the wedding as a way of proving his commitment to his bride? Would he, A, do a series of challenges set by the bridesmaids? Would he, B, go to numerous strip clubs with a blindfold on? Or would he, C, wear his actual wedding suit for the 14 days prior to the wedding?
Oh, do challenges set by the bridesmaids.
That is correct. They were supposed to set particular challenges for him, and he's supposed to complete those all before the wedding. Very well done.
Thank you.
Question 3. What happened to a stag in West Sussex that made him have to cancel his wedding because he had to have surgery instead? So what happened to a stag in West Sussex that made him have to cancel his wedding because he had to have surgery instead? Was it A, whilst paintballing, his best man shot him in the nuts and ruptured his scrotum?
Nice.
I'm allowed to say that because that's all medical terms, isn't it?
You can say ball bag if you want.
Is it B, whilst go-karting, he flipped his cart over and got his helmet wedged on his head? Or was it C, whilst having a drunken tug of war, half the stag party fell off a cliff, including the groom himself?
His mate shot him in the balls.
That is correct. Whilst paintballing, his best man shot him in the nuts and ruptured his scrotum.
Was it his scrotum or is his testicle?
No, it was his scrotum.
Oh.
Question 4. In Transylvania, what do groom's friends do at his wedding? So what do the groom's friends do at his wedding in Transylvania? Do they A, splatter him with blood? Do they B, interrupt the ceremony with fits of coughing, which is probably what you're going to do in 2 days' time?
Yep.
Or is it C, sing horrific songs about death?
Spray him with blood.
That is incorrect. They, in fact, sing horrific songs about death.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Are you ready for question 5?
No.
Are you ready now?
Yes.
This is what you do to me all the time. Question 5. A few days before a Serbian wedding, the father of the bride sets off with a sack over his shoulder and sets out to invite all the guests. But what do the guests do on greeting him at their home? Do they A, pop a pair of used underwear in his sack? B, rub his sack with oil before setting it on fire and then dousing it out? Or C, pin handkerchiefs and socks to his sack?
Pin handkerchiefs and socks to his sack.
That is correct. I was hoping it was going to be rubbish. Well, I say hoping. I knew it wasn't, but rubbish sack with all.
I was just hoping that the answer I came up with was true.
Wrong. Yeah. Okay. Well done. You're doing all right, actually. I think you're getting more right than you are wrong. I mean, come a little way away
we never
from
count,
mine,
do we?
No, we don't.
Unless it's against Becky and it's still chocolate bars.
What events caused the groom to have an attack of shingles and have to cancel his wedding?
What?
Right. I forgot, because it's so long ago. You can get shingles from... It's a nervous sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's a virus of assault, but it's caused by sort of
being nervous.
What event caused the groom to have an attack of shingles and have to cancel his wedding? Was it A, his friends staged a kidnapping and he was stripped, tied up and blindfolded by masked baseball wielding kidnappers before being driven and left in the middle of nowhere? Yeah.
Did you feel like that you accidentally left it as if you're going to continue that?
Yeah, and left in the middle of nowhere, right? Was it B, his friends got him drunk and while he was asleep, put him on a small rowing boat and pushed him out into the English Channel, where he eventually drifted into a shipping lane but was fortunately picked up by another boat? Or was it C, his friends superglued a number of dead seabirds to his naked body and left him in the middle of a local town square?
The boat one.
So you think his friends got him drunk and while he was sleeping, put him in a small rowing boat and pushed him into the English Channel?
Yes.
No. His friends staged a kidnapping and he was stripped, tied and blindfolded.
That was really common. A lot of people done that.
By masked baseball-wielding kidnappers before being driven and left in the middle of nowhere, 100 miles to Devon. Hang on.
What?
100, yeah, it said that was a bit like it. I can't remember whether he was 100 miles away in Devon or he had to cycle 100 miles to where he needed to be from Devon.
Basically, it was 100 miles from where we needed to be.
Yeah, and he was wearing a mankini.
Nice.
Question 7. Sorry about that.
It's boring stag do because you're not involved.
Yeah, no, that's true. Question 7. In 2007 in Bratislava, Slovakia, a Brit was sentenced to 2 months in jail, only being released and getting back to the UK a day before his planned wedding. But what crime had he committed? Was it A, impersonating a police officer? His friends had dressed him up as a policeman. Was it B, he was caught skinny dipping in the fountain in the town square? Or was it C, he was wearing a Sparta Prague football shirt with the word Nobby across the back?
Skinny dipping in the fountain.
It was skinny dipping in the fountain. Well done.
Thank you.
Question 8. A drunken bride woke up the day after an epic hen party to discover her mum had ripped up her wedding dress. But why? Was it A, because it was identical to the one she got married in, which ended in disaster? Was it B, because the bride had been wearing the actual dress on her hen and ruined it? Or was it C, because the mum saw a tattoo on her drunken daughter's bum and flipped out?
Tattoo.
That is correct. The mum saw a tattoo on the drunken daughter's bum and flipped out, but the tattoo was a fake that had been done as part of their hen party. So, yeah, bit of a nightmare.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, oh, dear, oh, dear. Question 9, the penultimate question. In May 2022, can you see through this paper? Because you seem to have got
I'm looking at you, Dad.
In May 2022, a group of men from Scotland decided to don fancy dress for a stag weekend in Crete, which got them 2 days in jail. But what was the offending outfit? Was it A, they were dressed as nuns? Was it B, they were dressed as Nazis? Or was it C, they were dressed as sheep?
Where's Crete?
It's an island in the Mediterranean.
Nuns and Nazis would be the easy option. Sheep.
It was, in fact, nuns.
Oh, okay.
And your last question. Question 10. Directly after a Polish wedding, the bride and groom are given 2 shot glasses by the father of the groom. But what is in each glass? Is it A, vodka and red wine? Is it B, Vimto and Coca-Cola? Or is it C, water and vodka?
Vodka.
Yeah.
They love their vodka.
Vodka.
Um,
So in that case, is it
vodka,
red wine
vodka and red
or
wine?
water?
Vodka and red wine.
It is in fact water and vodka.
What's the point?
What's the point? The point is a quiz. And that is the end of my little stag quiz. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks, I did enjoy the stag and the quiz.
And the quiz, yes.
Wow, what a mess this has been.
What do you mean a
Well,
mess?
actually, sorry, forgive me, but I myself have been getting rather confused, and I feel about practice. But hopefully, it's not come across too much.
Who cares anyway?
Who cares?
It's good to be back on the horse.
Listening?
Who's listening anyway? It's good to be getting back on the horse. No,
I did get moaned at the other day. I kept getting up questions recently saying, "Are you still doing your podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I've been really unwell recently, so we're taking a bit of a break."
Yeah, no,
and
we're
and I actually got moaned at the other day saying, by Annie, saying, "You guys haven't been doing a podcast, so I've been sitting there really bored in my car for 2 hours."
Excellent. So here you go. There's one. So anyway, so that's the quiz. That's pretty much the podcast. We've really got loads and loads going on at the moment. You know, it's exciting times. As we said, the wedding is in 2 days' time.
Yes.
We both
I've got an eye test on Friday.
Oh, that's even more of a thing to think about as well. We've both got our jobs for the wedding. You're a groomsman, and obviously as father of the bride, I'm going to be walking her down the aisle.
You're just trying to one-up me?
No, not at all. No, I've earned this. And I've got a speech, which I am still rewriting. Every other day I'm going back in and rewriting it. It's getting slightly longer each time. But yeah.
You should say God bless us everyone at the end.
What, like Tiny Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've got a feeling in this speech.
To call back to one of my best performances I've ever done, God bless us everyone.
Oh, you're saying that I should say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could do.
No one will get it.
Well, to be quite honest with you, when I've read through this speech, there is a number of things that no one's going to get, because a lot of it is quite personal or in jokes.
Well, I get it.
You probably, yeah, you will. But there's going to be probably more of Sam's family there, which will think, what? But who cares, eh?
Yeah. I mean, next week I would have heard it. So
there you go. We'll review it. We'll review the speech next week in next week's podcast.
Next week's podcast, we should, I don't want to make any promises, but we should be talking about Eurovision. We want to go back in this because I hear there might be some unreleased.
Well, I got
things that didn't make it.
Very interested in the Eurovision Song Contest before the Eurovision Song Contest, and obviously
I'm interested in the Eurovision
Song Contest. I don't say any spoilers about who won and all the rest of it. However, it's happened already. But yes, I obviously there's a big sort of qualifying thing towards who can go in and who can't.
The semis.
I didn't realise that before the semis, there's an awful lot of other stuff that gets submitted that doesn't get accepted for one reason or another. And I've got 3 really interesting submissions that didn't make it even to the semis. So I'm looking forward to sharing those with you as well, and a little bit about the artists themselves.
Okay. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, there's something that we normally say at the end, which is about the website. So we actually, interestingly, we've been. You'd think all this time we'd get loads of messages about.
Where are you?
What?
No, that messages saying, "Where are you?" Not like I've lost you then, but where are you? What's happening? How comes you're not releasing? Well, you did get one. You got your sister asking you what the hell was going on.
Yes. We did also get a couple of messages on the website, but they were business related.
Was they?
Yeah.
Business. So we won't bore you with those. However, yeah.
If you would like to send a question, suggestion, complaint, or comment, complaints are often funny. Then
I prefer the complaints, to be honest.
Yeah, well, feel free to do those on the website, fatherandsundays.com.
Yep.
And then you can go to the contact us page and then you can leave one there. Or you can email us at fatherandsundays. No, you don't.
No.
Or you can email us at contact us at fatherandsundays.com. Contact us at fatherandsundays.com. Also, all the websites available on the website as well.
Yep.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like, follow, share those. And we're available on every podcast platform. Pretty much, I think.
That's any good.
That's any good.
Yep.
Apart from the one that we had trouble with, but I can't even remember what one it was.
Okay, but we won't even talk about them, so they're not worth talking about. Okay, well, for this week, it's a goodbye from me.